Hey everyone, it's your host Cyber and welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to talk to you all about the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 and the storage options that are available for both these platforms and why I think that you should stay with the PlayStation 4 than just considering of upgrading to the PlayStation 5. In today's video, I am presenting you a game that you're able to see on screen. It does not have audio. Unfortunately, I turned on the audio specifically for this video, but it is Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity on the PlayStation 2 and being emulated on the PC. In this video, we're going to be talking about storage options and why you should consider of getting the PS5 anytime soon because it's just a waste of money and it's just basically a paperweight at this point. So let's get started, and if you do end up enjoying this video, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon so you never miss a single video in the future. Well, it's that time of year where controversies with Sony and their consoles and their services and decision making is making an impact on the gaming community these days, and it's not very good for them because there's a lot of controversies that is impacting them dramatically, and I don't think it's a good idea for them to do what they're doing. However, I wanted to just, instead of talking about those controversy topics, I wanted to discuss with all of you about the storage problem that the PlayStation 5 currently has. A lot of people complained originally when the PS5 originally came out that the storage that was implemented on the PS5s were too low, too small. There wasn't your only probably install probably like 2 games, and that's basically it. The M.2 slot was actually locked for a while, and Sony decided recently to unlock the slot, allowing you to upgrade the storage to a bigger amount. However, this isn't the main problem. The main problem is that if you remember when the PS4 came out, the only controversy that I've personally heard was from when they required people to um, they required you to pay for PS Plus in order to play video games online with other people. This stirred up a lot of problems because a lot of people didn't really felt people were so used to on the PlayStation 3 being able to play online for free, and people weren't really all about it at first to pay online. Now it's okay. People don't give a shit. So it's it's a win-win for Sony and it's a win-win for everybody. Um, so I don't think it's a big issue now that it was before. But the problem is that it's not because of PS Plus. This is has nothing to do with PS Plus. This has to do with the storage options and how Sony is executing their storage solution for the PlayStation 5. So I'll show you why. With the PS4, if your hard drive dies or whatever storage option that you have in place, like an SSD or a hard drive, if it dies, you don't have to worry about buying a new console. You can just go on eBay or go on Newegg or go to your local store and buy a terabyte or 500 gigabyte SSD or hard drive. The problem with the PS5 is that if the SSD dies, you can't replace it. Now keep that in because this is a really big issue, and if a console's main integrated SSD dies, then your entire console dies with it. I'm not saying that can't be repaired or replaced, but it's very detrimental because, for one, you're basically wasting almost probably 1,000 if you paid a scalper on a console that is gonna die within the next 10 years, maybe less, depending what kind of SSD they use, or they cheap out on the storage too in the future. The main problem that why this is bad is not also because that you can't replace the storage. Is because it is very It's very money hungry. It's very money consuming because if, for example, you're a, say, for a child who is severely artistic and their main passion, because I can tell you, there was this kid, I can tell you back in 2017, I met this guy who had a kid. Well, he was not a kid anymore, but he was an adult. But he had very severe autism to a point where the only thing he really cared about was his Nintendo 64. If it broke, which it broke a lot because he would get frustrated and throw the console to a point where it turns into nothing, he would throw even more fit because he cherished that thing like if anybody would cherish their car for the first time if they had their first car. And I understand at that point that's on him. But this is going to be the same thing for a console like this age. If a person who is infatuated with this console, so to a point where that if they don't have it into their hands and they can't play it or it broke, they will lose their fucking minds. I'm not saying that there's a lot of people that do this, but I'm pretty sure that someone in the world is like this, and who knows if they are, if there's people just like this, who knows? Because in the end, the world is filled with mysterious people and mysterious beasts that you never know what kind of creature you'll meet. But in the end, I don't blame Sony for it. I do blame Sony for the execution of why they did it. I kind of understand why they went that route, but I still don't understand why they decided to say, screw with the hard drive and then just put an integrated hard drive instead. Doesn't make any slight sense to me. Really doesn't. The only thing I can say for Sony in the future is that if they're going to want the PS5 to be viable and be reliable and keep their customers happy, they have to change this. They can't just say, we should just build an SSD onto the motherboard and expect people to be happy. I don't think that if they never, when they first announced the PlayStation 5, they really didn't go into detail of the SSD. They went into a little small spec, but they didn't really tell anybody, it's built in as a soldered SSD, because they know that if they just say it, people are not going to buy it. I don't want to buy it. You think I want to spend $700 or probably more than that on a console that is probably going to last me 10 years? No. I still have I have like two PS3s. One still needs to be repaired, but severely. But the other one still works. Do you think that I want to have a console that I can't upgrade the internal storage? You think that I want to spend $700 on a new console? No, nobody does. The thing is that Sony needs to think and take a really good hard look about and stop thinking with their wallets and start thinking with the customer in mind. Because if for example I wanted to be able to upgrade the storage, I should have the right to do so. I should have the right to do so in that form of fashion. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I've been a PlayStation fan for years. I have since the 90s. I played the PlayStation 1, I played the PlayStation 2, the PSP, the PS3, the PS Vita, and the PS4. The only console that I'll never ever touch is a PS5. Why? I mean, I think it's cool, but the thing I'll never personally own one. And the reason why I won't personally own one is because I don't want to deal with the frustration that comes 10 years from now. It may not be a problem right then and there, but it will be a problem later, whether if I like it or not. And I don't want to deal with that. That's like, if you guys remember the original PlayStation 3, with the overheating problem, and everybody started getting that blue light, red light of death. That's the same fucking problem. You're just seeing it in a different form. It just makes sense. It just doesn't make any sense. But either way, I would. I'm not gonna go into further in this video because I don't want to keep rambling about, storage options for the PS5. But I do. But I do want to say, in the future, Sony needs to make a great decision on changing it up, restoring it back to where the PS4 was able to upgrade the storage, and just stop cheaping out on things. Like stop doing that. Why? Either way, I would do want to tell you all know that to please consider not to upgrade your PlayStation 4, save up for a PC, because you know why? You can add M.2 slot, the fastest M.2 slot in the world, on your PC, and you can literally install an external SSD. And if your main M.2 slot dies, you have an SSD to fall back on. You don't have to worry about, oh, my PC is gonna die in fucking 10 years. If it dies in 10 years, I can always get it. I can always replace it. Not have to deal with shit by from Sony's hand and say, oh, I'll just I'll just let it slide by. No, don't let this slide by. Either way, buy a PC. Don't stay away from the PlayStation 5. You don't need it. It's not important. If you want ray tracing, you can literally spend the same amount of money that you're going to be buying. If you're going to spend $2,000 on a fucking PS5, use that money to buy a PC. You can play the same exact thing on a PC, excluding exclusives, to a console, and still have the same fucking shit. There's no difference. I have a RTX 2060. I can literally play Cyberpunk with ray tracing on, and it looks fucking gorgeous. It looks exactly. I can run it just exactly as a PS5 can. You know what's the only difference? It's not a 3090, but you know what? It's still next generation. I can play next generation games, and you know what? I spend under $2,000 on this PC, and I don't have to worry about one bit upgrading it in the next 5-10 years. Yeah, I can save up to upgrade it at some point if I wanted to, but I don't have to worry about the next 10-15 years. You know what I'm saying? It isn't worth it to buy a PS5 that has a soldered SSD, and then you get screwed if it dies. Because you know what? In the end, you're spending, if you really look at it, you're saying, oh, we're saving more money because we know we don't have to work for parts. But you're spending, in the next 10 years, you're going to be spending more money on this console than you are with a PC. Because with a PC, the initial cost of every part, case, etc., and building it may be expensive at first. But in the next 10 years, you'll be spending less money repairing the PC than actually spending on a brand new console. Because within that 10-year lifespan, the PS5's SSD can go bad like that. And if you're a 24-hour gamer, which you game 24/7 on your PS5 when you download, upload, etc., read and write, it's going to put a lot of stress onto your SSD, and it's going to make it die faster. So, and thus, you're being limited dramatically to how much you're able to play, regardless of what you think. Either way, don't buy the PS5. Stick with the PS4 if you have one. If you have the money to go buy a PS5, use it to buy a PC that is built for next generation, and that's in that. You'll be spending a lot more money for the parts, but don't buy a pre-build. Build your own. I built mine for the first time, and it's actually pretty well. It's not that hard as many people think. You just build it the way you like it, And if you need help, you can always look online. I also looked online too whenever I needed help. But there's always help online for everything, and you don't need to do it alone. If you are doing alone, there's not always an option to look online to find out what goes where. And don't let your money don't let your wallet speak for itself. Let your mind and creativity speak for you. Because in the end, you know what? You're the one that, is going to be enjoying it. You're the one that's going to have to deal with the maintenance and issues with the PS5 if something happens, you know? And when you get an adult, your parents are not going to go and spend $700 more on another console when they can just buy you a PC. But if you're an adult, that isn't going to happen anymore. You have to work for it. Either way, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know this is pretty random, but either way, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys all like this video. I spent a lot of time on my mind to figure things out on how to make this video the best way as I can. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.